All right. Um, so this is my video that about my observation in a special education class. Um, so this class actually happened. I observed it over the course of four different periods because there's only about 3 to 4 periods because it was only 45 minutes as it was one period during my teacher's planning period. Um, It is what is the term used? Self-contained class. It is a self-contained class. It was about um, it was about a 8 to 10 students in there. Teacher's name is Miss Morris. She actually she has the emergency cert going on, so she's finishing up her certification this year. But no, I would say her class was an interesting experience. It didn't have. So first and foremost, it changed my perspective a bit because when I pictured special education classes, or whenever I hear the term special education class, my mind and my perspective automatically goes to the extreme of very difficult to work with disabilities and very reactive students. And this wasn't the case. So the demographics in the class, it was pretty well spread. There was only about, I want to say, 2 Caucasian kids. The rest were people of color of different nationalities of what it seemed. Or ethnicities, sorry. I think it was like 2 Hispanics, 3 black and brown students, and 1 that I wasn't entirely too sure of. Yeah, no, it was. It really just felt like it was a self-contained class. So the teacher would have her stack of papers or stack of assignments that she needed to go through, and she would go through them. So one day she'd work on ELA, another day she'd work on math, and the way she would work on them it would vary. So with some of the things she'd have them work in groups. With others she would have essentially be like a call and response, or just like helping the general class to be able to get through the assignments. It was really cool, again, because one of the things that I generally kind of inherently perceive special education is that they tend to have behavioral issues. And sure, some of them got up, spoke out of turn, did whatever, but they were very well behaved. I would like also to credit that to the small class size. I think that helps a lot, being able to be a teacher in that class. Having class that small, just in general, helps a lot. But they were pretty well behaved. I would say the most out of pocket students got were during they were doing a math assignment, and the teacher brought out a buzzer. And she would call out a problem, let them take their time and answer. And if they had the right answer, bop, hit the buzzer. At one point, one of the kids got a little rowdy. He decided to be a little extra when he reached for the buzzer. But that was about as bad as it got, really, in terms of behavior or any other things that would be difficult to manage. The teacher then proceeded to play musical chairs after that, which I thought was not a great idea, but to each their own. Didn't seem to end too poorly. Yeah, again, in the classroom, it was all about she had, and this is a lot of what I'm also taking from my interview with the other special education teacher. They essentially created their own lesson plan based off of the lessons that the gen ed teachers were giving them. So again, helping them with math, helping them with different writing things. A lot of time there was one day they did just like a work day where if they had any work missing or if they needed help with any other things that they did before, we would go around and help as well. And getting to help them was interesting. They were really appreciative. They were really kind, which that wasn't something that I thought was out of the ordinary. Like I fully expected that as well. But getting to help them, like seeing their like achievement and their achievement start to go up, I thought was really cool, and really special to be a part of. As far as different types of disabilities, nothing crazy stuck out to me. There was a few developmental issues, disabilities. One of a couple again. So like autism were typically ones that I saw stick out. So autism, other forms of there were some SLDs. One student that my mentor teacher and this teacher shared. They were obviously in that class as well. But a lot of it's, again, it's just they just need some extra time to be able to go through with it. And as far as like seeing that with everything else, I think self-contained classes I think are extremely beneficial because it helps get them into a place they can continue to learn and continue to learn at their pace. Sorry, my dog's a crackhead. What are you doing? Okay, it's your bone. Never mind. Sorry, false alarm. No, it's one thing that Miss Watson Stanley really echoed as well. The sentiment that she had for me. She said, oftentimes, what can be the most inclusive for many of these students physically can oftentimes be academically the most restrictive. And that really stuck with me because it's something that I felt like it's like you're moving some sort of goalpost for some students either way. And I feel like as much as we want to include students in everything, and obviously we should, academically they need these spaces because it's what's going to help them achieve the levels that they need to achieve, and especially if we want them to get back on a grade level. But yeah, no, I would say again it was definitely a lot more, I would say, calm and more advanced than I had originally thought it was going to be. As far as changing my perspective on how to teach students like this, I don't think it will change my perspective. I just believe that I will probably struggle in the future, not because of them, but because of the fact that unless I have assistants where I have a full class, and then I also have students in my classroom who have disabilities or have IEPs and need some form of extra assistance. I just worry that either the class or my students who have these disabilities will suffer, and I don't want either one of those to happen. So I would say it just kind of reaffirms my need and my inherent kind of like desire to want to have someone in there with me, like co-teaching or an IA, a functional IA, that could help me balance that, and not, especially because one thing for me is I like to focus on a student if they need to be focused, which would essentially take me away, especially if it was one of my students with my IEPs, it would take me away from the rest of the class and stick solely on them until I know that they can finish everything. So yeah, it was a really cool experience. It was really fun getting to see these kids and getting to know them. They were really sweet. And yeah, thank you.